Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Trading with Sergio. Welcome to Caracas, Venezuela. Live from Caracas. No. What's going on? What's going on? How was the weekend? Rainy California. Hopefully the rain has ended for at least a day or two. Welcome to Trading with Sergio, Monday edition, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. All right. So, never a dull moment with this new administration. We know what happened over the weekend. A lot of people say we kidnapped Maduro. I don't think so. I mean, obviously that depends on your political views, I guess. Now, I have my thoughts about it. Me being from the Middle East, was born in Istanbul, Turkey. I know how stuff goes down there. We have tried this before with different administrations. I have my thoughts about it. I'm going to go through it, but let's start it with economic data. I don't know what is coming out this week. Does it really matter, actually? I'm not sure. I don't think it does. Let me see what's coming up on the economic data, and then we'll go into the ramifications of what's going on around the globe, how the globe is responding, how China is responding, Russia is responding to what happened in Venezuela over the weekend. First of all, my hat's off to the military. It's odd though they didn't use the SEALs; they used the Delta Force. It's kind of interesting, but I'm not going to get into that. But I actually usually look at the economic data on the weekend. I didn't even pay attention to it because I was fascinated by what's going on over there and what's going on in this country. How socialist New York City. I was about to go to New York City, actually. Now I'm kind of thinking twice about it. I'm not moving there. I was thinking about it. What is happening to my beautiful city of New York? I mean, for shit's sake, man. Come on now. I mean, everything has a limit. But I don't know. We'll see. All right, economic data. My go-to for that is Kobeshi letter. Also, crypto. We'll talk a little bit about it. Silver, gold, obviously ripping still. I should have worn my green hat, but not going to do it because Barca 2-0 over the weekend. Barca wins over the weekend. You guys will see the Barca hat. Vamos Barca, Barca forever. Once I get into the deeper end of the pool with what's going on in Venezuela, I don't know. We'll see. I'll give you guys my thoughts. I'm looking for the economic data. Kobeshi letter didn't even put it up this week because they're so busy tweeting about Venezuela. Oh, there it is. There it is. I got it. All right. So what's going on this week? Key events this week. December ISM manufacturing data. Not that important, really. Tuesday. It seems like all the data has caught up to December now. Luckily, right, with the BLS. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Wednesday, ADP non-farm employment data. Now, that's going to move the markets. Also on Wednesday, November, JOLTS job openings data. That's going to be important. And more importantly, on Friday, December jobs report. So we caught up. And then Michigan consumer sentiment. So a lot of job reports that should move the bond markets. Yeah, so that's what we got going on the macro. Now that a few more of you are here, welcome to Trading with Sergio. Green hat is definitely necessary today. Pretty decent day, actually. So good morning, Traveler. Good morning, Doug. David. Good morning, David. So for some of you who may have seen my pretty face on YouTube all over the place for the last, I don't know, and in the media for the last 3.5 years, I do run another channel called the Rideshare Guy. I'm a gig workers advocate. We've done a lot of good work. If you are interested in Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, stuff like that, the channel is Rideshare Guy. Glad to see me trading. David, I pay my bills that way. I've been paying my bills that way for the last 30 years. That channel is for truly love of labor, seriously. And being an advocate for the people who are getting exploited and abused. I believe so. If anybody's disagreeing with that, I would post them. Actually, you know what? Let me post the link up if any of you want to come on today. I'll spend about an hour with you all. Here it is. Here's the link. There it is. Yeah, so that pays the bills. I've been trading professionally for the last 30 plus years. 25 of it being on Wall Street at equities and derivatives desk at Prudential Securities, where I ran the desk. So my background is finance. And before I get into anything else, I have a website with a free newsletter. I'm not asking for anything. Just subscribe to the newsletter today at noon. You have enough time to subscribe and get another edition. Every Monday, a newsletter goes out. I want to improve financial literacy for gig workers, obviously. There's a lot of news coming up. We have a lot of collaborations with major companies coming up as far as that concerned, because I think that's lacking. But financial literacy for everyone, from elementary school kids all the way to college, because I don't think we teach enough of it. You know, if you go on X, there's a bunch of gurus out there, which I really don't give a rat's ass about or pay 2 cents of attention to them. But I want to improve financial literacy in this country as much as I can. So that's my goal for 2026, obviously, besides making money. So yeah, I have been trading for a long time. Good morning. Happy New Year, Nuri Chicago. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. William Rodriguez. Luis, good morning. Making some money today, Luis. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Supposedly I'm the, I don't know. I don't, at this age, I'm not going to call myself an influencer or whatever, but we have done some really great work with the other channel. The growth of it, the building a community. You know, I have always said this, if you build it, they will come. We've grown over 120% on the other channel in the last 3 years since I joined. Because it helps, my finance background helps to figure all this out and figure when they do shady shit and we bust it and get the money out of it. But the you know, almost like investigative journalism, which I didn't intend to do, but then I'm a capitalist, first and foremost, but I'm a fair capitalist, unlike a vulture capitalist that most of these people are. But I do understand where they're coming from. You know, they run global empires of $240 billion market cap, and they have to do what they have to do. But then we have to do what we have to do. I'm not going to call it David versus Goliath, because it shouldn't be that. You know, these companies, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Grubhub, Instacart, they have provided income, earnings for multi-tens of millions of people, and it's growing. So as much as I'm thankful for what they have done, I can't stand them being shady and exploiting people and all that stuff. So, you know, the battle goes on. We win some, we lose some, but yeah, most of you probably have seen me on YouTube from the other channel. But then this channel is finance only, and I'm going to do my best to inform and educate properly, because I don't think a lot of people who get into trading or investing have enough knowledge, or, well, they may have enough knowledge, but they don't have proper knowledge to do it correctly. And number one, they don't think of risk, because they always think stonks only go up. Well, stonks only don't go up, but then they have been for the last 3 years. Buy the dip works. At some point it won't work, but I'm not smart enough to figure that out. Sergio, I know you mostly do. No, actually, I don't do spreads. It all depends. Newry, Chicago. I don't do mostly spreads. I do a lot of directionals. I don't do that many spreads. I mean, I do have a firm synthetic on, which is put credit spread, short put credit spreads, long call debit spread. I don't do that many spreads. I'm not in this to kiss my sister, Nuri. I don't want to cap my upside if something is going to break out or I see a good setup. Why not, right? Participate fully. I don't do that many spreads. I do some verticals, to take care of data or decay, like I have with one of my positions, some people call it PMCC, but it's not long enough to PMCC. But to answer your question, it all depends. When I'm selling a put or a call, I go with the tasty rule on this one. If you're going to sell puts, the proper one is 1 cycle out, 45 days out, cover at 50%. It works. I believe what they're doing there. So that should be the rule of thumb. Although, if and when I've done it last year, plenty, short stocks, then I go for weekly put sales. That's like a covered put, actually. But I don't do mostly spreads, no. I mean, I'll put the positions up in a minute, which, full transparency, I post all my positions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the community page. I don't think anybody else is doing it, of the YouTube channel. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to prove. I'm not in race with anybody. I do what I do. Again, none of this is trading, financial, or investing advice. Talking about investing, my long-term port is ripping, which is awesome, which I have 4 stocks in there, and you guys have known. I'm trying to add one more. I'll find one more to add. Yeah, I don't do... preferably, you should go out a cycle out, 45 days out, and then cover at 50%. And also, you should also cover a 25% loss. If you keep doing that, you will more than double your account every single year. But most people don't take losses. That's the problem. Most people just roll. They get deep in the money on the puts, and then they go roll and do this and do that. I'm like, no, man, take the loss. Admit you're wrong, okay? That's why you don't need an 80% win rate. You need just a 50% win rate with tight laser-focused money management tools. Once you do that, you should be fine. Good morning, SC Austin. Good morning. All right, so this week's schedule, Monday, trading with Sergio. Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, trading with Sergio. And on Friday, Power Hour with Sergio. So, yeah, that's where we are, the schedule. What else is going on? Okay, let's talk a little bit about Maduro and Venezuela and Caracas. All right, so Trump went in and swooped the guy out. No bloodshed. Well, no bloodshed on our side. No equipment lost. I don't know. It seems a little too easy that they could do something like that in like 5 hours. That it took us 5 years in Iraq, Libya, Syria. So I said I'm from that part of the board, right? Okay. So this is what we're going to do without getting into politics. All right. So this is what I believe. I don't think U.S. foreign policy is correct. I think we go meddle into other people's business. I understand being a superpower, we feel like the big brother, we need to go take care of this and that. I get that. Might makes right. I don't like it that much, but that's the world order, right? Big fish eat little fish. It happens every day in my life with trading. But we don't have a good track record starting in Afghanistan. Trillions of dollars, tens of thousands of lives lost, come out with our tails between our legs. Same thing in Iraq. tens of thousands of lives lost, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives lost on the other side. Go in there, blow shit up, come out. Same thing in Libya, to a lesser degree. Same thing in Syria. Yes, we have removed some bad folks. I get it. Gaddafi in Libya, Saddam Hussein. My wife is from Iraq, by the way. She's Armenian from Iraq. The country was fine with Saddam. Now, there's a reason for this. Now, some of you may not like what I'm about to say. I know everybody deserves freedom, but when you're that deep into your religion and you have religion run your life, like a lot of Muslims do, again, nothing against the Muslim religion. I lived in Turkey. I was born in Turkey, a 99.9% Muslim country. Me being Christian, right? Okay. These people don't know what true freedom is, true democracy is. So I don't think we should go impose our will on others or tell them how to live 9,000 miles away. My wife was born there. She left there when she was 7, and she says it was a beautiful, peaceful place. Why? Because Saddam had the guns and the weapons and brutally ran a dictatorship, suppressing the Kurds, the Shias, the Azeris, and I know history really well when it comes to this. And he ran the country with an iron hand or iron fist. If you said anything bad about Saddam, he would be chopped off. Your head would be chopped off, literally. And your dog and your wife and your kids. Is that the right thing to do? No, of course not. But at least there was some resemblance of peace. So what do? We go into Iraq, Afghanistan. We spend trillions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of lives lost on our side and more on the other side. And then create chaos and come out. So we don't have a good track record when it comes to geopolitics and how we run things. Now, I understand superpowers have to do what they have to do. But are things better in the countries that we topple these dictators at? Go ask the locals. Are things better in Iraq? Absolutely not. The country is still in shambles, hasn't been rebuilt. Afghanistan, I'm not even sure. Libya, definitely not. Right? Syria, definitely not. Yeah, we ousted Assad, we killed Gaddafi, we killed Saddam, we killed Osama bin Laden. Yeah, these are bad characters. They need to be killed. But my point in all of this, so now we're doing this in Venezuela. We just swooped in and took the guy from his bed in his pajamas and his wife, and now he's getting arraigned today in New York. I'm like, okay. Seemed a little too easy, unless their military was in shambles, which I don't doubt that it was, probably. I mean, we have the best military on the planet. Seems a little fishy to me, but then let's maybe there's a deal that they did already. But again, I'm just going to wait as everyone else is, and to see what the reaction is going to be. But what I'm trying to say is that all the other moves that we did in the Middle East. Now, one good thing about this is that those countries were 9,000 miles away. Venezuela is next door. One advantage logistically. Two, there are some more bad characters in South America, Colombia and Cuba, and all that stuff. Look at the people in Cuba. Don't they deserve to live a little bit better? Of course they do. Now, do we need to go meddle into other people's business? They made this guy a narco-terrorist. They went and took him from his bed and brought him to New York. Okay, fine. Is he a bad character? Absolutely. Why is inflation 150% while they're sitting on 300 billion barrels of oil? That's because it's like he's like Putin in Venezuela, right? All himself and cronies, multi-billionaires, suck the blood out of the country. Now, is our purpose truly to have democracy installed in Venezuela? Maybe it is. Is it narco-terrorism? Maybe it is. Is it that we're going after oil? Because we went after oil in Iraq. What happened? It didn't work out, right? So hopefully, but that wasn't Trump. That was Bush Jr. and then Daddy Bush before, and Clinton and Hillary in Libya, and we know what's going on. So should dictators exist um, for the for the benefit of the folks in the country? If you don't want your country to get dismantled, yeah. But then what happens is that we decide either we're going to buy these people, and it happened in South America quite often. Allende and Noriega, we know all this stuff. Okay, well, if you guys don't know, study history. Are the countries better off once you remove these dictators? Are the people of the country better off? I'm not sure. I don't think we'll have a good track record doing it. Now, Trump is saying Venezuela oil, this and that, and today's reaction in the oil stocks, especially names like ExxonMobil, Chevron, Valero, amazing moves, right? Okay. So, time will tell if this is going to work out. Time will tell if we're going to be able to install somebody that we like, which I'm sure the deal was done already way before we went and took this guy from his bed. Democratic elections were held and Maduro stole them. There's no ifs and buts about that, obviously. So we'll see. Time will tell. And, I'm not buying any of the stuff that they show on X, people in Caracas on the streets and celebrating. That's what people did in Iraq when we, took that statue down of Saddam, right? They were all dancing. Where is Iraq today? Where is Libya today? You're going to say maybe it's not the same thing. It's a Christian country. It's next door. It's not 10,000 miles away. It's not Afghanistan. They don't run Shia law. I get it. I get all that. But I'm always questioning when we do things like this. And I like thinking about these things. And I've been thinking about it. Is it different this time? Well, time's going to tell. Is the U.S. going to benefit from this? Because that should be the number one goal. Well, maybe. It's a big maybe, and we will see. But my outlook is, again, I always look at how am I going to make money out of this, right? I mean, capitalist. In fact, I created a list of stocks that I think shipping stocks will do well. Obviously, oil stocks and some of the heavy crude refineries will do well because Venezuelan oil is like mud. It's not like ours. We have light sweet crude in the U.S., which is very easy to handle. But then heavy crude is where all the chemical and petrochemicals come from, plastics and things like that. So look, I don't know. I mean, time will tell. Now, removing this guy, installing somebody we like, opening trade, will average folks' lives in Venezuela get better? I sure hope so. Will inflation come down? Because we know what's happening in Venezuela and inflation. They have all the stuff. They have gold, they have minerals, and they have more crude reserves than Saudi Arabia and Russia. And there's geopolitical stuff now that we have to think about, right? I mean, what is China going to do? Is China going to say, "Oh, you did that to Venezuela," because they were buying massive amounts of oil, from China. In fact, supposedly, if it's true, there was a delegation from China while they while they took this guy from his bed. And they were still there waiting, to see Maduro. I'm like, no, he's not there. He's in New York. I mean, how masterful is that, right? So China is in the South America, right? Putting their fangs into everything. Russia depends, right? But where was China defending Maduro? Because they said, we will defend you guys. Where was Russia? Where was Putin? I guess he has his own problems in Ukraine. Or has there been a deal made, backdoor deal that we don't even know, and we will never know. We will know when it happens. Is we take Venezuela, we take Cuba, we deal with our own hemisphere. You go deal with Taiwan. You go take Taiwan. I mean, China is definitely capable of doing exactly what we did in Venezuela over the weekend in Taiwan. They can literally take over Taiwan. What will happen to? I mean, I think Taiwan is more important than China. I mean, than Venezuela. Or was there the deal made saying, okay, we take the southern hemisphere, you guys deal with there over there, you take Taiwan, China, Russia, Putin, you go take Ukraine, I'm like, hey, we don't know. I think about these things, you know. I may be right, I may be wrong, but I think it'll be a huge negative if China moved on Taiwan. Because a lot of Chinese stocks are selling off today because, look, we're putting them in a corner now, right? Because they had massive dealings with Venezuela, with Maduro. They have massive dealings with Cuba. So my thing is like, is this a done deal? Is this what's going to happen? Because if that happens, I think it'll be a massive negative for stocks, especially stocks like, you know, TSM and Nvidia and things like that. So I think about it. I look at the reaction, but today's reaction is positive so far. Another thing that was was kind of surprising over the weekend was Bitcoin getting up to 93, 94,000 now, and Ethereum not as much, but still rallying. So I do have positions there. Thankfully, that worked out. We just bought something. I don't know what we did. I'm short BMNU puts. Maybe I'm buying those back. But so yeah, that's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. So yeah, that's it. If you guys want to join, please. The link is up here. Please be a quiet place and a good internet reception. Man of a few words, Antonio. No. What does no mean? No to what? Are we mining BTC with oil? I mean, obviously we need massive amounts of power, especially after the halving, which has become very, very difficult now. Not necessarily. You know, mining BTCs is not a profitable business. Look at all those stocks, right? Look at all CLSK and Mara and Riot, and you know, BTC mining was very profitable, not anymore. So we'll see. I mean, Trump is saying that you know, we're going to take their oil, and because they have neglected their infrastructure over the last 2-3 decades, and you know, if you have that kind of reserves, look, man, if you have more oil and natural gas reserves than Saudi Arabia, we need to pay attention. I mean, look, we're going to find out. Oil markets kind of reacting negatively, but you know, some of the stocks are positive. Are they going to open it to the U.S. companies? Are they going to go rebuild? Is Halliburton's and Schlumberger's and Chevron, Exxon, are they going to benefit? I'm sure they will. I mean, stocks are saying so today, at least. So my goal is to understand all of this and include it in my macro, because there is not a dull moment with this administration. I don't know what's going to happen next, but then shit like this happens, and we'll see how it goes. The last time the regime changed the defense sector lobby, yeah, obviously. I mean, look, you know, newer technology, obviously a lot of the drone stuff, right? Supposedly we flew some stealth drones that these people didn't even know they were coming. I mean, look, man, I don't know what we have in the military. I'm all for a strong military, but then humans are still needed. Hats off to the Delta Force, who swooped in on the roof, took this guy, went out. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. I mean, I don't know why they didn't use the SEALs, but then I think SEALs are getting a little too much of a big head now. They're all like all over Joe Rogan and other podcasts talking about how they killed Osama. I mean, that was in the past. Again, hats off to all the military, all of it, from the Navy, Air Force, Marines, Army. Hats off. Much respect. I mean, shit. They provide us the freedom. They provide me the freedom as an immigrant to do this, right? Don't ever neglect them. They're necessary. People said it was a failure by design for revenue growth. I'm not sure about that. What does that mean? Regarding what? The takeovers of Iraq and Libya and Syria and Afghanistan? I don't think so. But anyway, we'll see. What else is going on? I don't know. We'll go to positions. We're having a pretty decent green day. So going forward, I'm going to post monthly on the community page, as well as I do my positions every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to post my account equity. So I said that. I mean, I have a video coming up with my last year's performance and what I'm going to do this year. So please go check it out if you're interested. Again, none of this is trading financial investment advice. What I do is very risky. Do your own due diligence. Don't listen to anybody on X for sure, because they have no fucking idea what they're saying. Most of them anyway, because they're stuck in these 10 stocks. That's just go on X, it's all 10 stocks. I'm like, no, there is like 10,000 stocks. I'll be fine. What else? Oh, I have a Telegram chat group, members only. If you're interested in becoming a member, click join. Send me an email, sergio@sergioavadian.com. I will send you the Telegram chat group link where I post my trades live. I post my positions every day. And I do a live stream every Wednesday or Thursday, depending on my schedule, for the members only, which they get the tools of the trade. Give them a toolful box. I mean, full of tools, teaching you how to fish, not to give you a fish is the idea. I didn't know that. Obviously, I mean, my hat's off. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So again, always respect the military. What else? Yeah. So that's it. Let's go to positions because that was a ding that we did something. I don't know what we did, but we'll find out in a minute. We shall find out. All right, here are the positions. What do we do? I don't know what we did. Go to the page. We're taking some profits on a firm at about 140%. Nice. Nice. Pretty good, pretty big green day, actually. I don't know how much, but it's pretty big. Anyway, so positions. A firm. As I said, I had sold a put credit spread, 72.5, 67.5, expiring in February. And with that money, I went and bought a call debit spread, 80 calls, 92.5, long 80 calls, short 92.5 calls going out to February, for a total cost of about 150. I had put on 10 lots. I was about to do more, but then I go, I'll just wait. And then, of course, today's stock rips. It's up about close to 10, breaking out above 80. I'm just going to, I'm selling 2 lots at a time at 315. So 150 to 315 is about 130%. I'll take some more profits at 325, 35, 45, 55 today. If not, we'll write it up. I am long 750 leaps of ASST, which is having a big day. It's at $1. I'm long the 450 of the January 2027 leaps and long 300 of the January 5 leaps. I bought more Bitcoin today, IDCA every Monday, the same dollar amount. I've been doing it all year last year, and I'm going to keep doing it this year. My first purchase was in 2020. I'm actually averaging up now. I do believe in Bitcoin. I think it's going to have a move, and this is the lottery ticket that I'm dealing with. I'm long 3,500 shares of BMNU. Was that the puts that I bought? No, that wasn't the puts that I bought. My puts, I sold. So anyway, the position on BMNU, long 3,500 shares. It shows cost 835. It's not. It's about 668. Stock is 662. I was short 15 of the January 5 puts at 77 cents. I'm buying them back about 22. So that's profitable, obviously, at 65%. I have the last 5 to go at 22 cents. All right, we'll just buy them back, close that up. But I have also put out 6, 7, and 8 calls against my 3,500 shares. 6s are in the money, obviously. Fine. If I want to get called away, fine. If they take it away, fine. No problem. Next position, Carnival Cruise Lines. I'm long 20 calls, February 30 calls. Cost base is 194. The stock is 31.67. There's 260. I'll take a 50 to 70% profit on that, but I may also wait for a 52-week new high because that's the pivot this year. I'm only long 10 Fastly, FSLY, Feb 10 calls. I paid 120 for them. They're about 125. And I am long 25 open door, Feb 5 calls, deep in the monies. I'm trying to buy deep in the money, high deltas. The reason, high deltas, if you're going directional, go high delta, but they're managed properly. Anyway, I'm long 25 of those at $1.28. They're $1.35. And last but not least, Wave Life Sciences. I should highlight it this way. So I am long 70 February, 20 calls at a cost of $1.28. I'm trying to buy more today, but I'm also short 70 January, expiring 16th, January 16th, 22 calls. So that is the, that is the vertical spread, I guess, or calendar spread, sorry. And so that's where we are. That's where the positions are at. And if we do get up to 80, I don't know, probably 81.5, we'll sell, we'll close some more firms at 150%, and we'll move on. That's where we are. That's where the account's at. I'm watching a couple of different things. Let the dust settle down. Hopefully my lottery ticket will hit, but then we'll see. Anyway, those are the positions. And if we look at spiders, this is the 2-minute. Let's look at the daily. If you have any questions, please post. Yeah, this looks like all-time highs coming up. So what else is there? Mag 10 or Mag 7 or whatever, it's not my concern this year. I pivoted. The pivot has already been explained. There's a video on the channel. Go check it out. I'm going to deal with 52-week highs. Nothing more than that. 2 stocks I'm waiting to buy is PLAB and PLAB is one to add to positions. Ooh, I just got a phone call. Okay, PLAB is one. And then the other one is ANRO, Alton Neuroscience. 52-week high was made at 21, pull back to 16. We'll give a couple more days. That's the next one. My 52-week high list at the moment is made up of 96 stocks. I'm going to cap it at 100 and start rotating. What's going on with oil and especially refineries? Valero, big move up, almost a 52-week high. That's probably going to go on my list. ExxonMobil, big move up, breakout, was on the 52-week high list, making a 52-week high. Chevron, not 52-week high, but it's getting there. Pretty strong moves, actually. And then Phillips 66, up 10. These are refineries. What else? Marathon Oil. What is Marathon Oil? MRO. Marathon Oil. Well, maybe not. I don't know what MRO is. The other thing is gold ripping. Gold miners are ripping. Silver ripping. But silver had a weird last 5 days. Hit 80, went down to 70, 67 actually. Hit 80 again, went down to 68, 65, 66, whatever. We're back to almost 80. I don't know what's going on. Is that a bull flag? Is that a topping pattern? Volume is extremely heavy. So yeah, this doesn't happen in the middle of moves, folks. It always happens on bottoms or tops. And if this is a bottom, then silver is going to 100. Again, none of this is trading or financial advice. TSM, 52-week high. I love these 52-week highs. Baidu actually may be giving me a chance. Some of this, I do like that stock quite a bit. I mean, yeah, my 52-week high is full of 52-week highs. That's what I deal with. That's what I want to deal with. I don't want to deal with stocks like Oklo, although having a big move up. Actually, that may be a bullish divergence. I have to pay attention to that. Rigetti. Okay, fine. That's also looking like a bullish divergence on MACD. HIMS, this is what the internet loves, Oh, up $1.50. I'd also look like and they all look like bullish divergences. If you don't know what that is, check it out. Same thing on RSI and MACD. Okay, we need to pay attention. I mean, look, I'm not going to get rid of the dogs, but focus is going to be 52-week high list as opposed to catching a falling knife. So Ethereum breakout right at the 50 EMA now. 200 EMA is a little about another 4% higher from here. If we get there, last time we got there, we got stuck. If we take that out, we may have a run here. So IBIT is the, actually IBIT is the same thing, which is the iShares Bitcoin ETF. BMNR, everybody's talking about BMNR. If Ethereum goes, BMNR will go, so will BMNU, which I'm long. But if I get called away, no hard feelings. You guys can have it. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, the ones, my long-term port, Google. I have the 350, made 350 calls, trying to get out of that at 375, 376. I sold them at 26 bucks. I bought the stock at 152 in April. Got lucky with that. But then Lulu, there we go, up another 3. Kava, yes, up another 4. Now we're profitable on this too. Okay, and UPS. Those are the 4 stocks in my long-term port. Try to keep it 1 year, 1 day minimum on these to pay lower capital gains taxes. I want to add one more. You guys have any suggestions? Should I go for an oil stock? What should I go? It's a pretty diversified list, actually. I don't know what I should go for. I don't want to buy something that's on its ass. I want to buy something that's about to move, that has based quite enough. So I don't know. I'll think about it. Maybe financial. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Missed AMKR, MCore. This is the beauty of 52-week high list, folks. You just buy them on pullbacks, and then they will go make a 52-week high. And if that was the ultimate high and you got stuck with it, sell it after 12.5% loss. Simple as that, right? Take a loss. Take an L. Admit you're wrong. Affirm, major move today, and good volume. MACD turning up. I think it's going to get up to 92.5, so I got to be really patient with that and take the most amount of juice I can out of it. In fact, you know what? I don't want to sell it at 325, 315, 335, 355. Yeah, I don't want to. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Which ones did I sell? How did I sell the 325 before 315? Okay, we're not going to do that. I thought, okay, 335 and 355 is fine. Yeah, keeps on. The key is let the winners run and take the short-term losses, small losses. I'm going to add to FSLY. I like that chart quite a bit. Yeah, it's just kind of consolidating. MACD turns up. I'm going to be all over that. I think we're going to revisit the high. Yeah, those are the things I'm looking at. I don't know. Yeah, pretty good green day. I don't know how I sold a firm. I thought I had it at 315. Okay, well, we canceled that one. We don't want 315. We want 335 and 365 today. We don't even want 350. Yeah, every 30 cents we'll sell it. That's a pretty big move. My cost basis is $1.50 for the synthetic debit, 150 debit. Selling it, exiting at 330 would be like 120%. But if we do run to 92 real quick here, or this week anyway, I'll squeeze all the juice out of it. So patience, folks, patience. When you have winners, don't take it. Be patient. I know it's very hard, but be patient. Patience. Patience is key to trading. The 3 Ps, remember? Patience, position size, and planning. Carnival Cruise, what are we doing there? We're not doing anything there. We want to Yeah, we don't want to exit that either. It's only 20 lots. I haven't started the pivot completely full position. By the way, the pivot is 10% of account equity for each position, not more than that, up to 10%. And 12.5% losses will be taken, 25% gains will be taken on options, 50% gains will be taken, and 25% losses will be taken. Options, when I say options, directionals. That's about it. Those are the rules for 2026, and they will be followed. Yeah, I like this affirm. Let's look at this base, kind of head and shoulders. I mean, oh my God, and go maybe sideways a couple days and rip. Actually, I should add to this instead of get out of it. I really should. Maybe with shorter term, same thing. I really think it's going to get to 92, 94 after a base like this. Yeah, I do like it quite a bit. Yeah, patience. What else? That's about it, folks. So if you guys want to join, please grab the link. Don't freeze, please. Thank you. Oh, we did freeze. Awesome. Technical difficulties continue. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Maybe we will unfreeze. Are we? Yeah, we did. Now I'm looking down at myself. Okay. All right. No questions, huh? And nobody wants to join? Why are you guys so shy? Just grab the link and join. We can talk about Venezuela. We can talk about the Middle East. We can talk about anything you guys want to do. So when you sell cash secured puts, cash covered puts, you mean cash secured puts? Okay. Well, the delta probably 25. Well, everything else changes. So data, you can. I mean, data is obviously 45 days. On a 45-day option, on a 45, look, cash secured puts is not the way to make money, sir. Cash secured puts, as long as you have discipline. Okay, so what would have happened to you if you saw cash secured puts on Oracle? What would have happened to you if you saw cash secured puts on Rigetti? What would have happened to you if cash secured puts on all these OCLOs and IRENs and NBISs? You're so deep in the money. Now, what are you going to do? If you're disciplined enough to take the 25% loss, you shouldn't even be thinking about the other Greeks. Delta, probably, look at the technicals. I mean, if we're at 200 EMA, probably higher delta. It all depends. You can't just go, I want to sell 25 delta 45 days out and cover at 50%. It's not that simple. So it all depends. Depends on your account size, depends on your risk tolerance. There is no rule of thumb. I mean, I may sell at the money options if I think stock is basing or going to bottom, because look, selling puts, you're trying to make a finite amount of money, very limited, right? You can't make more than the premium that you took in. That's simple, right? But then what happens when you go deep in the money? What happened to you if you sold cash secured puts on Meta before the earnings in? It was a 750. Let's say you sold the 700 puts the next day, puts you sold for $3 were at 30. Now what are you going to do? Right? So a lot of people don't have the answers. A lot of people do roll, and then you become from a short-term cash grab investor to a long-term stockholder. I mean, and the important thing with this is, as long as you're doing cash secured puts, at least, the money is there for you to buy the stock if you get assigned. But a lot of people use span margin or use margin, and then that's to be very careful with that, folks. Because the requirements, most people don't even know the requirements. The requirements of selling puts is usually with most brokerages, unless it's an ETF, is 20% of the underlying, plus or minus in and out of the money, and plus the premium. Most people don't know that. They look at it's $100 stock and the requirement is $3,000 to sell a put. It's not. It definitely is not. It's a lot more if you get assigned, especially if you have a headache like, earnings come out, stock tanks 30%. Most people think like, oh, selling puts is great. I'm like, no, it's super risky. And, I'm not a huge fan, actually. I mean, if you like the stock, just buy the fucking stock. Absolutely. What's up, Doug? AMKR, Doug. You sold your calls. Gotta be patient, Doug. Patient with directionals. Serge, would you explain what you were discussing in the group? When to close the trades at 50 or whatever? That's for the group, bro. You want me to break it out to public? I just did, actually. So if you're my rule of thumb this year is 50% gains plus on options. So if I bought a direction, if I bought 50 options at $2, that's 10 grand. Position gets to 15, you start trimming, and then if not, you get out 50%. But same thing happens if you bought 50 options at 10 grand. Position gets down to 7,500, 25% loss, you get the heck out. That's it. And hope you have a 50% win rate. If you do that, you will more than double your account at about 200 trades a year, which is, I think I do that every quarter. Something about collateral or cost basis. Oh, you're talking about the Affirm thing? Yeah, I have to settle that somehow. I have to settle it in my mind. I mean, look, it's profitable. As a cost basis, meaning, okay, so I got into the synthetic at $1.50 debit. Well, they're like a $3.15, $3.10 credit. So I'm getting in at 150, there's 310. So that's over 100%. But what I was thinking is, because I sold the put credit spread, the requirement on that was 5K. So do I look at the 5K requirement and go with the 2,500 profit on RO as far as ROC, right? Return on capital that I'm tying up, or look at the cost basis. In fact, Ghost corrected that. Ghost said in the group, chat group, he said, no, we'll go with cost basis. Cost basis is $1.50, Serge. So when you sold the put credit spread, you took in some money, you used that money to buy the call debit spread. That was $1.50 debit. Okay, well, so it's 3 credit. Because when you're exiting, you're doing the opposite, right? Okay. So that's over 100%. And he goes, that's what we're going to look at. I'm like, okay. So that's what he did. He took the profits. I'm like, you know, that's the explanation of that. Hopefully that was the question you asked me. Yeah. Yeah, please do. Look, man, cash secured puts are fine when the markets are going up. What are you going to do? Do you have a plan, North Chicago? Do you have a plan when we're in a bear market? You know what happens to cash secured put sellers in a bear market? Have you heard of a term bag holder? Well, in this market, they're becoming bag holders by dealing with Oklos that's gone from 190 to 70 in a month or two, or Rigetti from 58 to 20. Plenty bag holders selling puts, and then they roll, and then they have to go out 6 months. They have to go out 8 months to do it with credits when they're rolling, if they can. And now you're stuck. Now you have opportunity cost that's leaving the station, right? A lot of people don't think of opportunity cost. I mean, you're stuck in one trying to manage that position while the whole world is going by you, while all these groups of rotations are happening, right? Don't be just listening to people saying, "Oh, cash secured puts are fine." Yeah, that's good. What's going to happen if the market, you have a grinding bear market of 30% lower in 18 to 24 months? What are you going to do? Same thing, cash secured puts? Not going to work. Going to blow your account, guaranteed. Learn how to short stocks. Not going to work. Okay, got it? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm still kind of, I mean, it wasn't a big position. I put on 10 lots. I wanted to put on more on Friday. Like, one more day. I didn't know I was going to rip today. So I'm sure some brokerage put a buy on it. And the stock is breaking out. Technically, massive short position on a firm. We can get a nice move out of it. Might as well squeeze the juice as much as we can. What else? Yeah, that's about it. So if nobody wants to come on, I'm going to go have a cup of coffee, a couple of meetings coming up. So help me, please, with financial literacy. Go to the website, www.sergioavadian.com. Subscribe to the free newsletter. It's free. It's wonderful. I have a great website manager. He's doing an amazing job. We're going to do a lot of good work, a lot of seminars, webinars. It's all coming up. It's all planned. Hopefully I have the time to do it. Yeah, that's one of the nosebleed ones, Bloom Energy, sold successfully CS for the last 2 weeks, keeping good premium. Yeah, you're one of those wheelers. I don't know. Bro, if you like Bloom Energy, where were you when it went from 20 to 110? Why don't you just long the stock? Like, I'm not sure. You would make so much more money. But hey, man, it's all too. I'm not against selling puts. I'm against selling cover calls for sure. Not against selling puts. Bloom Energy. Actually, I was looking at that today. Let's take a look. BE. Nice little basing pattern. Yeah, that stock went from 147 to 76. Then rallied to 116. This thing was moving like 30, 40, 50 points. Oh, man, oh, man. You know? Yeah. When is this high beta stocks? Cash security. Yeah. Where were you here? Where were you when it broke out from 26 all the way to 147 in about 2 months, 3 months? Just buy the freaking calls. Do synthetics. Sell the puts. Buy the calls. Make some serious money. What are we doing? And then people sell puts at 120. Stock drops to like 78. And then they go like, oh, I'll just hold it. Yeah, I don't know. Although I like this chart. Well, it's coming off its ass, so it should be all right. But yeah, it's not as simple as people make it out to be. Oh, sell cash security puts. I'm like, bro, you want to make money? Okay, buy some directions. It's like, again, I don't want to kiss my sister when I'm trading. Investing, something different. Trading, I don't want to kiss my sister. I want to make some money. I want to double, triple, quadruple benchmark, which is S&P 500. That's about it. The rest, anybody can do whatever they want. Again, not against it. Selling cover calls, we're selling the weeklies, trying to cash grab. Some bad news happens, it drops to 60. I mean, you know. But then if your goal is to create some income on your cash, maybe, maybe. I don't look at it that way. I look at things differently. All right, folks. All right, join me. Come back on Wednesday. I'll be back on Wednesday trading with Sergio, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Friday, power hour, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. What else is going on? That's about it. So it's 11. I'm going to go have a cup of coffee, finish my trading. I don't do much. I put the positions on. I scale in, I scale out. Swing trading, no day trading. I do dabble in zero DTs once in a while, but very rarely. And year's off to a decent start. So we'll see. We'll see how this week ends. And then don't forget to go check the community page. Today I'll post the positions, open positions. And then at the end of the month, I'll post account equity. So I did a video on that. You guys can go check it out. And you'll see where the numbers are at. So we'll see. All right. Hats off. Maduro is in New York City. I think it was in front of here. It was a rain today. I don't know what it was charged with, but whatever. Yeah, what I talked about when it comes to geopolitics and things like that, I do think about these things. They will affect markets. I don't know. Time will tell. I'm all for the freedom of people as long as they can handle freedom. And maybe Venezuelans will be able to handle freedom with no violence, because Iraq couldn't handle freedom because they had so many different sections or factions. And they were under Saddam's rule for 30 years, who happened to be our guy, FYI. So you guys know. By the way, all these guys that we remove or kill are our guys. Allende was our guy. Noriega was our guy. Believe it or not, Osama bin Laden was our guy initially when he fought the Russians, okay? Iraq, Saddam, our guy. He fought the Iranians for us. These were all our guys, okay? Don't question it. Go check history. And then they become big, and then they go like, F you. And the US goes, what F you? I made you. And then they go like, okay, you have two choices. Either we're going to come in and kill you, or you can go to Russia and live a happy life under exile. Just like Assad is doing in Russia now, in Syria, right? He was smart. He took the good way out. Huge Swiss bank account, money everywhere, billions of dollars. Okay, cool. Saddam said no. Libya, Gaddafi said no, F you. They were all our guys. All these guys. They're all our guys. Well, when I say our guys, we supported them at some point. We made them who they are. When I say we, the US, CIA, or whoever you want to think about it, including Osama. Osama was our guy. With the Mujahideen, he fought the Russians out of fucking Afghanistan. 10 to 1 outnumbered yet, but we gave him the weapons. And then he turned on us, right? Okay. So if you're a dictator, don't turn on the US. Just keep your happy life. Keep your martinis flowing. Keep your yachts going. But at some point, we make you and then we'll break you. And that's what's happening around the globe. So is Cuba next? I don't even know who's running Cuba, honestly. It's in shambles. Colombia next? I don't know. Let's find out. Again, has there been a deal made? Russia takes Ukraine. China takes Taiwan. We take the Southern Hemisphere. We take, Venezuela, Cuba, and Colombia, and Mexico, maybe? Look, man, geopolitics is a weird thing. Nobody understands. Nobody knows what's going on except few people. And powers to be decide on the fate of millions and millions and hundreds of millions of people, right? I just hope the Venezuelans have a better life since this guy left. I hope inflation comes down. I hope they benefit from what we did. Unfortunately, in the Middle East, it didn't turn out that way, but maybe this will be better. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. I think I yacked enough. I'm going to go do the rest of my work for the rest of the day. Watch my stocks go up. So may all your longs skyrocket and may all your shorts tank. We'll end with that. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Adios.